Well, hello everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to my just newly named channel. Watch out! Because that's the name of my new channel. And today I have another unboxing that I'd like to do. I was kind of caught between whether or not I should call it Watch Out or Out of the Box, since I mostly do unboxing videos. But my plan has always been to do more detailed reviews of the watches that I've added to my collection, and so not technically unboxing only. And that's why I decided to go for that coy "Watch out!" with the exclamation point. Now, a quick wristwatch check reveals that I'm wearing the latest watch in my collection. But I want you to notice this is the Pagani design PD-1776, but it is unlike any other PD-1776 that I have ever seen here on YouTube being reviewed, or in any AliExpress store being sold, or in any of the 3 different Pagani design websites that I visited. And what's different about it? Well, sadly, what's different about it is the fact that it does not have a box top, tabletop, or top hat sapphire crystal. You see that? The crystal is virtually flush with the ceramic bezel insert, roughly the same height. It is not box top. It's a double dome sapphire crystal. And so as a result, I have entered into a dispute, first with the Pagani Design Outlet store, which is the store that sold me the watch, demanding an exchange. I wanted an exchange for the watch that I thought I was getting, because I have not heard that there are any future or previous versions of the watch that feature this lackluster crystal. And after going back and forth with Pagani Design Outlet Store on AliExpress, they offered to refund me greater than the value that I paid for the watch, but not exchange it. And I knew that I was going to be footing the bill for a rather expensive cargo back to its origin in China, and I didn't want to foot the bill for that. I'm already paying 30% customs tax on the watch, and now I have to pay another 30% probably for shipping. I'm already out 60% of the price of the watch, and then they could always just arbitrarily decide not to refund me 100% of the price that I paid. So it's now at the level where I'm in dispute with AliExpress itself, and they've offered to refund me only a small fraction of the price, because they did agree that it is not as advertised with the sapphire crystal. But I rejected that offer this morning, and I'm demanding either an exchange or a refund of the entire price. Now, frustratingly, there is another Pagani design website that allows you to purchase accessories, and one of the accessories they allow you to purchase is a sapphire crystal for the specific model that you own. And I was all prepared to shell out the money and buy that, only to discover that that website does not deliver to my country. And so that has thrown everything into a loop, and I'm a bit frustrated by that. But after all the Pagani design, after all of the AliExpress purchases I've made, I really can't complain with the customer service. It's been basically good. So today I have a package that is not from AliExpress. It is, as far as I understand, from Amazon instead. And so that's why I have the Pagani design on today, because it's in spirit of the watch that I think that I'm getting now. But interestingly, I was not required to pay any customs duty tax. So I imagine this has to be the watch that I anticipate that it is. So without further ado, we will tuck in. And so obviously, because I wore a Pagani design watch today, this must be a Pagani design watch. And you can see the watch box size. it would seem to me that it is definitely a Pagani design watch. But what is it? Let's find out. Okay, I might have opened this in the wrong way. Here we go. Let's try this. So yeah, it is a bit frustrating. When I did the unboxing video for the Paul Newman homage, I immediately had buyer's remorse because that sapphire crystal was at least 60% of the reason, 70% of the reason why I bought the watch. Here we go. It is what I'm hoping for. I've got another watch on its way that's taken twice as long, and it's still not here yet. We have another Pagani design, but what is it? Let's find out. Okay, so immediately I am faced with the link changer for obviously push pins. These are always nice to have. Love them very much. We have our ubiquitous polishing cloth, our guarantee card, which may or may not be valid when you buy from AliExpress, but from the Pagani design websites, they are valid. I bought this from Amazon. We have a instruction book, which is getting smaller and smaller by the watch delivered to me. So that's a good thing. And what do we have inside the box? Whoop, we got a pull tab. Dun, dun, dun. We have the Pagani design PD-1701A. This is an homage, part of the what they call the tribute series, homage to the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch in rose gold. And I have to say, right out of the box, this watch is freaking beautiful. Wow. It's not just a gold watch, it's a rose gold watch. So the color in my eyes and what I'm seeing on video right now are entirely different. On video, looks like a gold watch, but this is a rose gold watch, and there's no mistaking its rose gold color. And for comparison, it is not my first 1701 because I did buy the Mission to Mars Moonwatch some months ago because it is superior in every way to Swatch Omega mashup of the Moon Swatch. Is superior in every way. The movement's superior. The materials are superior. We have a sapphire crystal and a sapphire bezel insert. Here, I believe we have just a ceramic bezel insert, but a sapphire crystal. And so, as soon as I saw this, I had to have it. I was quite endeared to the green face iteration of this watch that was in gold, and a gold green Speedmaster homage was very enticing to me, but I just hadn't seen this one yet. And once I saw this, that was all she wrote. So we have a watch which is essentially a quartz, mecha quartz movement featuring a Seiko VK63. It is a 40 millimeter case diameter. We have case thickness of 14 millimeters. We have, obviously, as I mentioned, a sapphire crystal and a ceramic bezel insert. We have a 20 millimeter bandwidth here, lug width, if you will, and 22 centimeters of overall length, obviously, before I fit it to my 7.5 inch wrist. As it is a mecha quartz, we do have a sweep. Hold on one second. What's going on here? There we go. We have a chronometer hand that sweeps at 5 ticks per second, which it's doing right now. We have the small seconds at the 6 o'clock position, which you see is working away. Let me stop it. We have a 24-hour clock at the 3 o'clock position, which is over here close to the crown. And then over here we have our minute track indicator up to 60 minutes of the chronometer function. And we have a flyback mechanism, which is part of that mechanical feature of a mecha quartz. So it flies back in a counter or anti-clockwise direction, back to the 12 o'clock, rather than whereas most quartz chronographs go around in a clockwise direction to the 12 o'clock position. All right, so we do have some plastic that I need to remove. This is in virtually every way identical to my mission to the moon or Alaska project, depending on how you think of it. Omega Speedmaster Alaska project, Moon Swatch mission to Mars. It's the color iteration of both the Alaska project and the mission to Mars Moon Swatch. But obviously as it's stainless steel with a Seiko VK63 movement and 316L stainless steel bracelet, yada yada. It is better than the Moon Swatch in every way. Is it better than the Omega Speedmaster that it's homaging? That is debatable, frankly. I probably would never spend the money on an Omega if I had the money for an Omega, to be perfectly honest. Maybe a Moon Watch would be something I would spend my money on from Omega, because it is a classic watch and it is handsome as far as I'm concerned. But at this point, I have so many chronographs in my collection. I just realized I said chronometer earlier when I was describing this. It is a chronograph, not a chronometer. I have so many chronographs in my collection. I don't even know that I would want, a mechanical chronograph added to the collection beyond what I already possess. Mechanical chronographs are not entirely accurate. It's not a necessary benefit to have them. Okay, so already most of the plastic is off, thankfully, which is fantabulous. And I just have a couple of stickers left on the case back. Now, this watch is constructed of 316 stainless steel, but of course, through the magic of some type of ionic process or electroplating, it's not exactly clear to me. This is coated in a rose gold treatment. And I'm going to be very keen, as I'm sure many other owners are, to discover just how robust is that treatment, particularly as you think about the between the links of the bracelet, for example. Over the course of months and future years, how much of this coloring is going to wear away, exposing the stainless steel underbelly. I'll be curious to discover that. I did a lot of research on YouTube unsuccessfully to see how long it lasts before it wears away. But for the price, I really shouldn't be complaining. It's really, for me, just about the aesthetic. I don't have any gold tone watches in my collection. I have a bronze watch that's on its way. I do see, however, though, that immediately upon making contact with the watch, it does discolor. Like my fingerprints, you can see there, are fully visible on the clasp, and they do sort of give a different color. Now, we do have the same case back on this watch that we have on my mission to Mars, which appears to be the NASA space shuttle attached to the main fuel tank. It's a little bit different. It's not exactly accurate to the space shuttles that went up into space, but it's sort of that idea. And of course, that main fuel tank was discharged before it actually got into space. So it's not, altogether a scientifically accurate depiction of what a space shuttle would look like in space. And that doesn't look like Earth, that planet there. So it's a bit, obviously, facetious. Now, we do have a signed crown. which, if I remember correctly, this is a screw-down crown. Indeed it is. It's a screw-down crown, although the chronograph pushers are not secured by any extra safety feature. This iteration of the 1701, this particular dial iteration, does not feature the date window between the 4 and the 5 o'clock, which I actually like. Now, my mission to Mars also does not feature that, and I like that. It's a little bit cleaner, a little bit more sterile. But some versions of the 1701, PD-1701, do feature that. So I think that's important for people to recognize when they go into it. Make extra special care when you're selecting your dial choice or your color choice. Because if date's an important feature to you, it might be that you cannot have the color you want with the date feature. And it also, conversely, might be true that you don't want the date feature, and yet the color choice that you select does have the date. So that's something to take into consideration. We do have basically a 3-year battery life with up to 1 hour daily use of the chronograph. None of us really plan to use the chronograph that much, so I don't imagine that's going to be a big deal. Now, what I saw from other videos is that it is possible to take this plastic that you have that's protecting the bracelet and use it to remove the blue on the pushers and the crown. Now, the crown didn't have any blue on it when I pulled it out of the box. Here we go. So you see I've just removed the blue from the A pusher, and now I'm removing it from the B pusher. There's enough friction of these pieces of plastic to be able to remove the blue, although my B pusher is a little bit more stubborn. It seems almost as though the pusher itself is stained with the blue, so that's not ideal. I'll probably get that off successfully off camera here once the video is finished. But this is a stunner. It's a stunner, and that's exactly why I bought it. When I saw the gold dial in addition to the gold case and bracelet, I was immediately enamored because it is quite a retro look in my opinion. But obviously we have the ceramic bezel insert, which is a tachymeter scale, and that appears to be fairly nice and crisp, and it is a color that sort of color matches the gold colorway of the watch itself. This is an honest-to-goodness 5-link bracelet, so 3 of the links, the center link and the 2 outside links, are a brushed satin, but you can see that in the center we have 2 skinny links that surround the center link, and those are high polished, and those are separate links. As I know from having sized this bracelet, they are in fact separate links, and that is quite nice. This particular case features, looks like high polish on the sides, right? So the flanks are high polished, and a good part of the top of the lugs are polished as well. But then, as it gets close to the end links, it is a satin finish, and it looks kind of like it's a radial satin finish. This is really something special. I mean, for the price that I've paid, which is less than $100, this is outstanding. I'll be honest with you, I've only worn this a handful of times since I bought it. I really just wanted to have it because I knew it was superior to the Moon Swatch, and I kind of had that fear of missing out because I couldn't buy the Moon Swatch here in Turkey. And then as time went by and I learned how many people had buyer's remorse, I knew I wasn't missing anything. not having the moon swatch. And when I saw this, I was immediately struck. I had to have it. But I haven't worn it all that much, and I think it's probably because of the colorway, even though red is my favorite color. The dial is spectacular, too. There's a sort of metallic flake iridescence to the dial, which is not reflected on camera, sadly. But it is definitely, it's a real amazing watch. But now this watch, on the other hand, just takes it to a new level, even though it's exactly the same watch. Except for the colorway. All right, guys, thanks for coming out. This is the PD-1701A in rose gold, and it is fantastic. Thanks for coming out. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, my new channel name is Watch Out. So watch out, everybody. Cheers.